Well, Jezza, first up, how many teammates have hit you up since they knocked off the Swans?
I had a cheeky message from Stevie J via Instagram, and I thought that would be coming actually, and I've spoke to a couple of the other boys as well since. So clearly they had a really big game against the Swans. It was pretty. We watched that sort of. Yeah, a few of us sat around and watched that, and it was intense. It was a great game to watch, and they come away with the chocolates.
What were your initial thoughts the minute that siren sounded that you'd be playing your old mob for the first time in a final?
Yeah, sort of mixed, to be honest. I clearly missed that one a few weeks ago. I think it was 3 or 4 weeks ago, because I was coming back from a hamstring injury. So no, I'm just excited to be going back out there, and I'm keen for a big performance. So it's going to be very interesting. I'm sure there's going to be a few words said out on the field, but it's all part of it, and it adds to the excitement.
Have you got any sledges ready, Jez, for a couple of the old boys?
I've got plenty in the memory bank, but I don't know if I'll use too many. It's going to be part of it. Like I mentioned, it's going to be good fun. They'll be wanting to come out firing like they have. They've had a really good month of footy in recent time, and it's going to be a really good game. So looking forward to getting out there on Friday night and having a good showing against them.
What's the biggest difference you've noticed now? You've played a couple of final series with the Giants, of course, but yourself moving over to the Cats this year. What's the biggest difference you've noticed playing and being part of the team in the finals with Geelong?
It's an interesting question. I've only played the one final for Geelong, and it didn't go our way. So there's a lot to improve on there, and we have been all week. So looking forward to coming out and playing better football and playing our brand. So it's definitely interesting, but it's hard to sort of compare the two. At the Giants, we had a fair few different looks at it over a number of years, and clearly I've only played the one game here in a final. So looking forward to my second one, though, I must admit.
And Jeremy, I was just going to say, obviously, no Toby Green out there. Like, the decision is the decision, and that's been made by other people. But how do you feel about the fact that he's just not going to be a part of what is a really big game?
Yeah, it's different. Clearly, Toby's accepted that, and he's apologised to the umpire. Not too long ago, but he's a really close mate of mine, Toby, and I reached out to him a couple of times yesterday, but I know he had a lot on his plate, so we sort of missed each other yesterday. But I'll continue to support him as a close mate of mine. But clearly he's a good player, and he's not going to be out there. So it is what it is, really, and we sort of move on. Another player's going to come in for the Giants, and we got to make sure that we play our best football and not focus on, them too much. It's more about what we can do and what we can control, and go from there.
Jez, as you alluded to, you didn't play against the Giants last time round, but Sam Taylor just parked himself in front of Tom all night. Has that been looked at in terms of how the ball movement's got to be to ensure that similar to Aaliyah last week, you keep it away from that sagging off defender that just wants to play that peel off role?
Yeah, I think it's definitely something you review, and when you lose, you review these things, and when you win, you review what you've done well and what you can improve as well. So it's always a work in progress, and I think every team you come up against these days has a player that likes to drop off and take marks in front of the opposition, and those intercept marks, I guess. So limiting those is a key part of the game each and every week, not just in big finals. So that's something we'll continue to work on. And Slammer's I've always said he was going to be a really good player. He played a lot of pre-seasons on me when he was young, so he knows the way I play as well. But whether he goes to Hawk or comes to me or whatnot, we'll have to wait and see. But I didn't show him all my tricks. I made sure of that.
Was there a level of frustration last week with the ball movement coming inside 50 that you just probably didn't see it as quick as you would like to see it?
Yes and no. Definitely. I think at times, you need to get it inside 50 quicker. But it all depends on, the sort of The way we've built up the ball and moved it going forward. So that's something that we always continue to work on, and we did today. We had a really good training session, and it was really good. We ticked off a fair bit, and the vibe was really high. So looking forward to taking that into the weekend. And it's always a room for improvement. And when you lose, these things stand out a bit more. But we're looking forward to just getting out there and playing now.
You touched on the training that you've sort of done post the Port Adelaide game. Are you able to sort of highlight to us what it is that a team can do to work on its ability to handle pressure? Because it seemed as though Port, really sort of took it to you guys, and early on in particular, the side as a collective just wasn't able to sort of deal with that. What can you do, I guess, to work on that area of your game?
Yeah, I guess train the way you want to play is first and foremost, but we sort of acknowledged early on in the week that we brought on a lot of that pressure ourselves. Clearly, Port come with a lot of intensity, a lot of pressure, and really got on top of us throughout certain stages of the game. But we had some simple errors that really brought that on. We dropped marks, we fumbled, we weren't as clean as we'd like to be. So we needed to sharpen up on that. And that's a little thing. It can be a bit of a mindset thing as well. But you improve on that. It's amazing how everything else seems to flow off the back of it. So. There's a lot of different areas you can look at I think it was 42-point loss, was it? There's a lot of different areas you can look at when you lose like that in a final, but it's important to remain positive, and we know what we can do when we're playing our best footy, so getting back to that's crucial.
How is the hamstring, Jezza, and what are your training loads looking like now compared to maybe mid-season before you did it the third time?
Yeah, no, I pulled up a bit tight from the game. No, just joking. I actually pulled up really, really well. So, and I have for a number of weeks now. I think it was made pretty public that we sort of held off a little while. I felt like I was ready to go about 3 weeks in, and as a player, I hate watching football, so I just want to be out there playing with the boys. But we held back an extra basically 3 weeks and had 6 weeks off, and from that moment onwards, I've felt cherry ripe. I got some really good training under the belt throughout that period, and that I've pulled up really well from games. More so, better than early in the season. When I come back from I think it was round 6, I struggled there for a few weeks just with pulling up sore, and not so much in the hamstring, but just from not playing too much football at all. This time round we've done a lot better, and I'm feeling cherry ripe.
Jez, just on Toby, you said you're great mates with him. I mean, he's played a lot of footy on the edge, and players like him kind of, that's why they play their footy and play so well. I mean, do you feel maybe he needs to, I guess, pull away from that, not be so close to the edge, because when you play that close, you can tip over?
Yeah, it's definitely a fine line, and it's something that's been brought up, with myself at times throughout my career as well. And you get yourself so wound up for a game, and especially big games. I know Toby really well, clearly, and I know exactly, his mindset going into that game, how big it was for the club. He's leading the boys out there. He's played a massive part all year, and just played some brilliant football. And he knows he needs to perform and wants to perform, and he's just that player. So he is right on the edge, and he plays. Yeah, he plays on that edge. Not only, it's not. I guess it's hard to sort of put into words, but he doesn't play on the edge just 1 week here and there. He's on the edge every single week. So he needs to be careful with that. But it's also what makes him a great footballer as well. You put the umpire contact aside, because clearly that's not a great look for the game, and he's acknowledged that, like I've said, and apologised. But the way he attacks the body, attacks the ball, is just brilliant for football, and people love watching him.
Thanks.
Jeremy, the grand final location has just been announced, and obviously everyone expected it to be in Perth today when it was happening. What's your immediate reaction as a player, having played in one of the G, about it coming to Perth and what it will be like over here?
Yeah, it's a really, it feels like the G, in a lot of ways. I the first time I played there, I thought, geez, this feels like sort of you're at the G a little bit. It's a great venue, and yeah, clearly it's a nice big ground, and there's going to be a lot of supporters there. So I think yeah, it's exciting for everyone. It's going to be a different look again. Last year was different. This year's going to be different again, and yeah, it's exciting. It's going to be great for WA, and it's going to be really good for football. I think they're going to host it really well, and you know, we've got a few games to go yet, but it'd be great to play there.
The timing is up for debate at the moment. You were in the unique position of last year having the 3 games here. One was day, one was twilight, one was night. So you've had all the different games that you could have played in from a timing perspective. Is there any difference in how it feels marking the footy, handling the ball, seeing the footy at all, how the ground plays between the 3?
Between the 3 time slots? Yeah.
Yes, between the 3 time slots, yeah.
Yeah, it is, you know, it can get a little bit dewy at night, that's for sure, but playing at Adelaide last weekend, like it was fantastic conditions, I thought. So yeah, for me, if it was my choice, I'd go a night game because I love my massive sleep-ins. It's game day. The 1 o'clock time slot wouldn't suit me at all because that means I have to be up before 11. But yeah, I would pick the night game for sure. I love the night game and the build up to it. I'm not saying I hate the 3. What's the grand final time slot? 3:20 or something like that. But I don't hate that time slot. But I'd pick a night game if it was up to me. But it's not. It's not up to me, unfortunately.
Are you trying to source out a boat to sleep on if you get out of quarantine and have to stay a little bit longer, Jez? How are you coping with just having a bed to sleep in?
Yeah, I've actually spoken to Danger about it. He believes that he has a contact, so I haven't asked too much more than that. But he seems to think if we can get to a grand final and win it, that there's going to be a boat waiting. So yeah, that's pretty exciting.
Just on Danger, how did he train today?
Yeah, he trained fine today, Danger. Yeah, I was managed today as well, so we all sort of, yeah, depending on how you pull up from games and that, you all sort of manage and introduce into training at different times, but it was fun.
Who's that?
I don't know, someone's...
Oh dear.
Do you feel, Jeremy, everything's sort of on the line, like, in a sense, this weekend, it'll sort of galvanise the group, just sort of, I guess, a bit of a white line fever in a sense, everyone can just sort of come together and really sort of handle the pressure, what you were sort of talking about earlier?
Yeah, definitely. I think when it's an elimination and you either win it and you go through or you lose and you go home, there's a lot on the line, and it brings, I think it brings the best out of a lot of guys, and yeah, me myself, I think when your back's up against the wall, that's when you seem to want to play your best football, and you really knuckle down and galvanise like you mentioned. So yeah, we're looking forward to that.
I just have one more question. I was just wondering, I know there's nothing you can do about it, but do you think you still really feel the absence of Tom Stewart in the team? Because we, hear so much commentary around, how important he's been throughout the year, and the fact that he's obviously not a part of the finals team and can't be, and what that does to the group, and whether that exposes you more than you would have otherwise been exposed?
Yeah, it's a good question, because clearly Tom has had an All-Australian year, and if you ask anyone, would you rather have him out there? Of course you would. We'd love to have him out there, but we can't control that from now, which is unfortunate. And he's been around the playing group. His mindset sort of is fantastic, and there's just Tom to a T. He wants to improve the other guys in the back line and help them out as much as possible. And you see guys like Jack down there and Blitz, and they're all playing a massive role. And yeah, they're going to continue to do that, and Tom's going to do his best to assist with them playing their best football. So it's unfortunate that we don't have Tom there at the moment. But yeah, I think it's really important that he does, keep a really sharp mindset, and yeah, the other boys are playing some good football down there, and do they need to lift a bit? No, not necessarily. We just need to play well as a team.
You've obviously been based in Victoria, playing AFL footy for the first time this season, Jeremy. Yeah, can you speak a bit to, obviously you're close to your family, close to home originally, all that sort of stuff. Can you just reflect and sort of explain, if any, that's had an impact on your footy? Is that been beneficial for you this season?
Yeah, it's been a bit difficult because clearly COVID sort of played a big part early days in the season when things were pretty normal. It was amazing for me. Felt really good to be back and not too far from anyone. It was, I guess, Mum and Dad have always come up to games and stuff a fair bit throughout my career, which I've been thankful for up in Sydney, and they love that part of my career. But having my brother and sister who can't really get up as much, they're 2 hours away, helps so much, I think, for your mindset, and just getting away from football and 10-15 minutes you're completely out on a farm or down by the water or out on the bay, really helps me. And I've been really honest with you guys about how much I need that part of I guess when I'm away from football. I don't really need to think about football. I don't want to think too much about football. I need my mind elsewhere, and it feels a lot easier down here, that's for sure.